Alright everyone, looks like I got saved for content today. We have a fan favorite returning to Darkest Dungeon 2. Pretty much I would say most heroes are a fan favorite if they're not probably the Arbalest or Musketeer. But anyways, he's looking worse than ever as well. So let's figure out what has happened to the Flage. I actually did one video before this, but the audio was really bad. For some reason my mic was popping a lot, so hopefully this audio is better. But it actually has done me some good. So he's Blight focused now. He went from Bleed to Blight. Essentially, they do mention here somewhere he decayed over time, and now he is more toxic as an individual rather than just his bleed. He has this high risk playstyle back, pain loving weirdo, yada yada. Now there is one mechanic in here that's actually a lot more interesting than... Okay, so if you're trying to cut out toxic people out of your life, you're playing the wrong game. He does have a literal thing called toxic, like his rapturous state in the first game. It's not necessarily a bad thing. He has a custom stress response that impacts him less than a meltdown and reduces his health to a threshold where those abilities are immediately available, while refreshing the cooldowns to make sure they're up for use. So it sounds like definitely... Don't worry about him. Blast away at low HP, obviously with the chance of him dying. But now he's practically a walking corpse. Through sheer force of will, the Flage survives, blah, 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 unending death. As his body began to rise, blood and organs became septic, and his power... wow, let me try again. As his body began to rot, his blood and organs became septic, and his power began to reflect a toxic necrotic archetype. There you go. So that's why he's no longer bleed, and that is why he's now quote-unquote toxic. And a shift from the first Darkest Dungeon, the Flage is all now about Blight. We'll go through the skills here. So we got Punish, just bare basic ability, gonna assume is be the same with Blight. Fester's a new one. It's destroying a corpse on the field, blighting those around it, very interesting. Deathless, the Flage sacrifices his own body to restore another hero's health, much like Redeem. Endure relieves a party member of stress at the cost of his own mind, like the first game. Lash's Gift strikes himself to flail, raising his own HP while strengthening allies' defense. That is new and supportive. Acid Rain is like Rain of Sorrows. Backline, Blight, more. The Flage covets pain, uses it to heal himself after drawing enemies' attacks. Sounds like a tanking ability where you heal, obviously, so that with Lash's Gift is going to make more of a healing... buffing style rather than a damage Flage. Suffer, same as first game, you transfer bleeds and blights onto himself. Sepsis, inflicts tremendous blight while recovering from the brink of death. Exsanguination, Undying, injures himself to provide regeneration for another. I keep forgetting this one. Is it just Redeem? Or is that one already in here? I think it's just Redeem. So I believe that one's Redeem. And Necrosis strikes down all blighted foes while his own flesh knits back together. I'm not sure how that one's going to look. That's definitely new skills. There is a spoiler image below. I don't really want to go into it right away. Let me just kind of do my final thoughts so you can back out the video before you see too many spoilers. So we'll look at these pictures as I talk here. It definitely sounds kind of like a Vestal in a way, but obviously more damage focused than a Vestal. I kind of wish we had another backliner, but the Flage is going to be a good tank choice. It's going to definitely make you not feel like you have to rely maybe on the Man-at-Arms because of the tanking, the healing of the HP. So I think the Flage can easily replace the Man-at-Arms, which is good because I felt like the Man-at-Arms always felt like a necessity. He's definitely still going to be first and second position heavy. If you want to do a pure support Flage, I'd imagine you're probably going to have to shove him in 4. Because there's probably not a lot of reasons to have him in 3 for now. And then that's Lash's Gift. So it's an interesting choice. I hope eventually, if they do stick with bringing back all the originals, there's obviously the Crusader out there, but even as much as I love the Crusader, I would love for them to do the Houndmaster first. It gives a back row character, it gives some healing, it gives some stress heals as well. I feel like it is a much needed thing for Darkest Dungeon 2. I still think hitting the back row is not something as strong. The Flage does obviously have Rain of Sorrows. I forget what it's called now. Not Fester. Acid Rain. So he does have Acid Rain, which will help. But I would really like to see just a more raw damage hitter in the back, because there's not many of those, and a few bosses Mostly the Seething Sty really requires one. So I'd like to see that as the next character, or a brand new character that is going to utilize the burn mechanic. But the Flage is a good one, and with the Death's Door style of Darkest Dungeon 2, I think he'll be even stronger in this game than he was in the first. And he was a darn good character in the first game. So I think he's really going to have a special place in party comps and party compositions based on what they have. And with Meltdowns not being as bad, you might be able to run a little less stress heals and have it actually be beneficial. So it's a very interesting idea to have. We're going to go down into the boss spoiler and images below. As you can see, you can't really play the game yet, so it's not that much a spoiler. But if you are going to go, thanks for watching. I hope you're excited about the Flage, and we're going to go into the mini boss now. So, he brings along a new enemy, having cheated death one too many times, unless once again Hidden Squids plays him. He definitely does not escape death. He's now pursued by Death herself, armed with a scythe astride a pale horse. As you can see down there, I'll scroll down a little more to get a better look. This mini-boss encounter has a chance of triggering after every battle victory. Oh, every battle victory. I misread that the first time. It's essentially every battle. If you're not doing a victory, you're pretty much lost, right? Her skills are particularly designed to bypass the Flage's considerable death blow resistance. Once again, doesn't matter for me. The uncertainty of her appearance and lethal combat potential make Death a real threat to any expedition. Surviving an attack will reward the players with a special item, Death's Head Flower. Currently, I would imagine we have no idea what that does. It might be really good, it may not be, who knows. The Flage will also feature a fleshed out playable backstory like the other characters, shrines, and will become to the Darkest Dungeon 2 when the game leaves early access May 8th. I like the idea of the mini-boss encounter. The only thing I guess maybe I'm a little worried about is like, what is the percentage chance? Do you really want to take a fight, win, and then immediately have to fight this potentially once or twice per climb? Is it that big of a deal? Is it like if you fight it, you're like, well, I'm screwed? What happens if you fight it one session before a cultist encounter? It's just thoughts I have. It definitely looks like a really cool enemy. I kind of like the idea. It's hero specific. I just hope it's not too frequent where you're like, oh my gosh, this triggers once per expedition, and it's just kind of derailing me when it does. And at the same time, it's finding that precarious balance where you're like, hey, I've played like 4 runs with this guy, and I haven't seen this pale horse lady once. So it'll be interesting as they mess around with the percentage she spawns and potentially how strong she is, and how good that Death's Head Flower truly is. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to see where the game releases. I'm going to make one more video, probably in about a week and a half here. It's going to be called Green Light, Yellow Light, Red Light. And all it's really going to do is talk about objectively. I know I did that video way back last June, kind of complaining about the game status, but it's completely different now. This video will be, if you're a green light person and for some reason you're looking at videos to determine if you should still buy, it's going to reconfirm your ideas of why you should buy. If you're a red light person, I'm just going to essentially give you reasons why you probably still shouldn't buy it. But really, my main purpose is to give the yellow light people a nice space where they're like, okay, I like the first game, where I'm interested in this game. What aspects of a video game am I looking for? Which parts of DD2 actually hits those, and maybe which ones it misses on? Would that be a big deal to me, or is it not a big deal and I'll really like this game? Or are you thinking, oh, I thought it was a different style game, maybe I'll just wait 4 or 5 months to make sure it's definitely going the direction I don't want it to? Because the worst thing would be is people read Darkest Dungeon 2, haven't done any research, and obviously looking up that video would be doing research, but I really want to try to stop people from assuming because it's DD2, it's going to be exactly like the first game, just with obviously different content. I want people to give this game a fair shot, even though maybe I don't like it the best personally. That doesn't mean that other people shouldn't go in with a correct mindset and information about what to expect. So you can expect that probably a week before the game releases. I'll probably also be doing a video on a game called Hunt Showdown. I like to play that game a good chunk with my friend, so I wouldn't be surprised if a few of those videos sneak up in the near future. Thanks for watching.